Hey everybody, just got off work and as promised, I'm going to do a detailed video on the Predator powered farmall, show you how I built it. So, here we go. Alright, subscribers know about this. This is an old farmall F20 for everybody just tuning in. Put a 13 horse Predator on it and it does run and drive. It all works. And what I did, I figured I would mention this in case someone else wanted to build this. Which of course there's probably 10,000 different combos you can do with this, but this is how I did it. And we pulled the motor, which I have a video of that. I'll leave it at the end of this video. And we took the engine out. And one thing about International, they've got this really neat universal coupler design. There's a piece of metal in here and you got like two U-joints, basically two sides of it, like a drive shaft that bolts together on this. And the beauty of it, this side right here, see if I can turn it where you can see it a little better, but this side, this piece was actually in the transmission, in the bell housing. Transmission's built here, I said that wrong, but this part went inside the bell housing. That attached to the motor, and the motor unbolted off these bolts and we pulled it out. But the beauty of it, it takes 1 3/8" 6 spline, which if you don't know what tractors, that's a standard PTO, which is what's on the back of 90% of your tractors and all your new ones. That one's covered in grease, but that's standard. Some of the little ones like the Alice Chalmers B's and C's and some of the Cubs and stuff had 1 1/8" PTO. But the 1 3/8" is pretty standard. And the way I set this up, I wanted this as much of a normal tractor as I could. And I've got it set up on the clutch pedal, where you can sit in the seat, you put your foot here, and you can see this rod, it pushes. And it moves this when the clutch is down. But what it does, it takes this idler pulley off of this belt. And it works like a normal clutch. And I took an old brake pedal off a truck and I cut it off. And I welded it right here onto this arm that this idler pulley's on. And when you release the clutch, booyah, it grabs the belt and turns this. And again, we could have done some other stuff, made a direct drive, or used a chain with a centrifugal clutch, which I really didn't want to do because they used to use this on lawnmowers and stuff. It's kind of how I got this idea on different designs, and they work really well. It'll fool you how much power and tension and pressure that belt can take. And this is a heavy 5/8 belt, not a 1/2 inch. But I didn't want to go with the centrifugal clutch in the chain, because belts just need tension. Chains require maintenance. And it's a lot cheaper and a lot better for me. I like this system better. And I wanted to run this, the flat belt pulley, which I'm going to track one down or build one or something. But I wanted to run this at an idle. Off of this at an idle. That way I can run some of the old belt driven equipment and stuff we got out there, some hay presses and stuff, so stay tuned for that. That'll be down the road and we're going to do that. But that's why I wanted this set up, because as soon as you kick the clutch in, it's running, and you can kick the PTO in, and then that PTO will run with the flat belt, and I can run this at idle. With a centrifugal, you got to rev it up pretty high to get it there, and then it might be too fast. Well, with this, I can kick it in an idle. That's fine. And if it's too low, then I can rev it up. Centrifugal clutch, you're wide open or nothing. Because if you don't and you slip that clutch, you'll burn it up. And that's why I went with this system. And I went through a lot of trouble. There was already a hole here where the motor mounted with the transmission, I keep saying transmission, but the bell housing. It was all one piece. And it went in these 2 points, and I run a piece of all thread down through here and welded it, and used part of the old clutch and stretched it a little bit and welded it on this rod. It goes through, and that was a lot easier than trying to move stuff around through the top. But you can see I'll got my hand up here on the clutch, we'll pull it down. As you can see, it pulls the rod back then I welded this up and got it where I wanted. And I got an adjustable linkage here, and it pulls it backwards. And it all works off. This pivots back and this pivots back. And then this pulls the tension off the clutch. But what I did, I took an adapter. I kind of skipped this point, but I took an 1 3/8 adapter, 6-pline on this side, and it had the 1 1/8 PTO inside. This adapter goes from 1 1/8 to 1 3/8. And I took a piece of 1-inch keyed shaft, and I took a 1-inch drill bit and drilled the inside a little bit and stuck that in there and centered that up and made it true, and then I welded it. And you can see right there, I welded all that up, and then I run it to a pillow block. I was originally going to run 2 of these, but the angle was just enough. I couldn't get it what I wanted, so I just ended up going with 1. That's why the extra piece of metal's in there, but now I know. Next time I'll just use 1. But it does work, so I'm not going to complain. But that's just a 1-inch keyed shaft inside an 1 1/8 to 1 3/8 PTO adapter. And I got it true as I could, and I welded it, and it's really true. I got it real close. Then I just stuck it in here and bolted this together, and it all works off this clutch. It works beautifully. And like I said, this is just out of an old truck. I cut it off, and what it does when this comes off, that grabs the bottom and stops that bottom pulley from turning. And then of course we got a tensioner, but like this idler pulley and all this come off of a lawnmower deck, and so the spring. I had one of the pulleys, I ordered another one, but the beauty of this system, I can change this bottom pulley anytime and go bigger and make it lower geared if this turns too fast with this. You know, with this 2 pulley setup, you can change the gearing still, which is another reason I went with that. But you can do it with the chain and the centrifugal clutch too, just kind of more of a pain. But like I said, this was real easy to do, and that's how that's set up. So, I mean, that's pretty basic as it gets. I mean, really, if you know, a different tractor, you'd probably have to do it a different way, but this was convenient and handy because it went through the frame, the hole was already there, and I just set it up. Welded this here and put a bolt on it, and I put me a nylon nut to hold the idler here, but I mean, it works just pretty as you please. There's really nothing to it. So, I'll kind of show you. I'll start it real quick for anybody just tuning in that hasn't seen this. If the camera falls, we'll pick it up. But it's just sitting there, so bear with me. Come on. Oh, she's not going to run. Any other time it would. There it goes. Hopefully that's not too loud. You can see it running. And then here's the PTO lever, which we have to do the clutch. You'll watch. See how that stops that? It does work. Bear with me here. I'm going to kick this in. There's my PTO. And that will turn over there in a second, but watch the engagement. You heard the motor turn. Now this is running. So I can run my PTO, my flat belt, off at an idle. Or I can rev it up. You'll watch. Camera pick that up, but it does work. So, I will leave the link to the video of me driving this around as well. There, I don't want to talk so loud now. But I'll leave at the end of this video, this side and this side, one or the other. I'll put both videos of where we pulled the motor out and got it ready. And then I'll put the other one up of starting this, running it around, driving it, and all that. But that's the system, in case someone else is wanting to do this. And stay tuned, because I'm pretty well done with this. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. I did put this up on a little old piece of C-channel I had to kind of raise this up to give me a little gap on my pulley, otherwise they'd been too close. But almost forgot to mention that. But I'm done with this as far as I want to go, because it's done. I'm going to use it, but I'm not as excited as the F20 as I am what else I'm going to do out there. But I think the gearing will be perfect for the flat belt side of this, is the main thing I built this for. And to go to the tractor shows and the steam shows and thresher shows, just kind of tootle around with this. Just kind of a novelty more than anything. But I think the gearing will work good with the flat belt for what I want to run it with. And stay tuned. So, you know, if you ain't subscribed, go ahead and hit the bell and you'll get notified of all the videos coming up. But with that being said, what I want to do, I want to take this system and I want to put this on one of my Alice Chalmers C's, and we have several of them actually. But I definitely want to do one of them, and there's a Case VAC out here. So subscribers been with me a while. We have basically a tractor salvage out here. I've picked them up cheap and saved them from getting scrapped and everything else, but there's definitely some Alice B's and C's I want to do this with, and I think it'd be just perfect. And I really like those tractors. They're wide front end, and that 13 horse is probably what they come out with factory, if not more, and I think that'll be just perfect. And there's a couple Case VACs just right there, so we'll get them going, and that's upcoming videos, so stay tuned and hit, like I said, that's coming. I'm definitely going to do that, so just definitely stay tuned for that. And I've got an Alice C out there as well that's got a belly mounted sickle mower, and I want to take this system after I build it and cut hay with them and pull equipment with them, and I got all kinds of ideas. So if you like this, I hope you do. There's going to be a bunch of this and a bunch of other farming stuff on this channel, garden and animals and just everything on the farm here. But I guess that's it. So I just want to let everybody know how I did this, so it might help you if you want to do one. But anyways, I guess that's it. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It does help the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell. Doesn't cost a thing to subscribe, and if you hit that bell, you get notified of every video like this and every other video I make. So I guess that's it. So as always, like and subscribe. I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.